die?
So the new sniper slash difficulty slash pistol beta is quite interesting to say the least. And if you don't know what the changes are, well, there are mainly changes to the mayhem and 1 down difficulty, removing specialized killing, adding a new skill called Grace, and the most recent one is buffing trigger happy for pistols. So let's go over the most interesting changes, which is the 1 down changes, Grace, and trigger happy. And I will start with the most interesting change, which is the Grace skill. So the Grace skill is a new top tier skill on the sharpshooter tree on Mastermind, and what it does, it adds extra damage around the bullet if you hit someone with the basic version, and the ace version increases that damage even more if you headshot kill someone. This skill only affects sniper rifles, and to describe how it is to use it, well, it basically just gives you bigger bullets whenever you proc it. The basic version of the skill is, in my opinion, not worth the skill point investment, it doesn't do enough damage, but the ace version is quite good because it tends to do a lot of damage and kill a lot of enemies as well. And after using Grace for some time, I would definitely say it makes sniper rifles a lot better. And you get also some decent crowd control with a sniper rifle, which is quite surprising. Grace definitely shines when it comes to holding down choke points and defending hallways. Well, since enemies tend to pile themselves up in those areas and they're close to each other, so you can actually hit them with the Grace effect. And do I think Grace is overpowered? No. Considering it already requires a very heavy skill point investment to even make it good, I think it should get a very slight buff. But even in its current state, it is still really good, and it definitely makes sniper rifles a lot better. And with the buff to the rattlesnake rifle, you can run a setup where you have a very ammo efficient primary weapon that can one-shot heavy units even on 1 down, and then you can use a secondary high damage SMG to deal with bulldozers or whenever you need high DPS. So that is basically the Grace skill. So now let's talk about the 1 down changes. And to keep it short, they basically reduce the health numbers on all units, very similar to death wish levels, and added minigun and medic dosers. Well, minigun dosers are not only exclusive to 1 down, they also appear on Death Wish, but the medic dosers are 1 down exclusive. Also, they removed the 1 down change, so you have 3 downs on 1 down. Yeah. Anyway, with these changes, 1 down is a lot more fun, and since the spawns also got reduced and the AI is a lot more responsive across all systems, it feels a lot less like a cheese fest. And since you can kill enemies a lot faster with a lot more builds now, it actually feels like it's worth clearing out areas instead of just running out past everyone and just hope your dodge save you. Although Swansong cheesing became a lot more powerful since you have more downs now. But let's talk about that later. Now let's talk about the changes to the trigger happy skill and how, in my opinion at least, made pistols a little bit better. So the change to trigger happy in the beta is that it gives you 120% damage bonus when you hit something for 2 seconds for the basic version, and the ace version increases that duration to 4 seconds. Even though the ace version's duration got reduced from 10 seconds to 4 in the beta, the extra damage and that you can hit the maximum damage after just 1 hit because it's now only 1 stack, makes the pistols have an even higher DPS output. And when you have trigger happy active, you can even one-shot heavy units on 1 down. With the high damaging pistols of course, which is pretty good. However, one of the main issues with pistols still remain, which is their ammo pickup. All pistols have a really bad pickup compared to almost every other weapon type in the game. And again, they only have really one good niche, which is their high damage output. But you can achieve that with so many other weapons when you have crits anyway. So it's not really as useful as it sounds. But since minigun dosers have more health, and the fact that you can outdamage the medic's heals even if it is a doser, and 1 down now have medic dosers, maybe that one niche actually might be more useful than I think. Although it would be nice if pistols got a buff to their ammo pickup all across the board. Because just look at Streak's ammo pickup. and the pickup on other low damaging pistols are very slightly worse than the streaks ammo pickup. But again, in Payday 2 there is a lot of inconsistencies with ammo pickup. Like the single compact 5 have a better pickup than the akimbo version of it, and the akimbo Krinkos have a better pickup than the single version of it, so yeah. But this is about the pistols, so I think the low damaging pistol should get an ammo increase by 50%, and the mid and high damaging one should get about 20 to 25% increase. That way pistols base stats aren't as good as SMGs and assault rifles, but they have better concealment, and when you spec into pistols you can make them a lot better. Also, one last thing when it comes to trigger happy, it would be nice if they made the basic version damage increase lasts for 3 seconds and the ace one lasts for 6 seconds. So that was the main parts about this video I personally wanted to talk about, and now I'm just going to be rambling a lot about other things I'm kind of concerned about, where, you know, Payday 2 is going with these changes, with the difficulty and everything. So yeah, rant warning, leave this video if you don't want to listen to a dumb idiot. So yeah, when it comes to 1 down, lowering health numbers on the enemies, good. Adding new units instead of, you know, having bullet sponges, good. Removing the 1 down mechanic, I personally don't feel like they should have done that. I feel like that made 1 down kind of special. It made it so you could basically have a higher chance of failing at any point if you didn't play carefully. And also, when it comes to enemies' damage numbers, I'm still surprised they didn't tweak those as well, because if I remember right, the difference between Death Wish and 1 down with damage numbers outside of the beta I'm talking about now, I'm pretty sure 1 down enemies deal ×3 damage compared to Death Wish, which is pretty weird. It's a pretty big leap. Even double damage would be is also a really big leap in damage difference. And I feel like they should have just lowered the damage value on enemies as well, so make it so ICTV and armor builds in general become more useful, so it's not like, oh, you can tank 1 more hit now because you use a heavier armor, but you don't get the benefit from suit, which is high mobility and dodge. So yeah, I don't really understand some of the changes, but hey, at least they are tweaking the AI, so yeah, hopefully it will not be too cheesy anymore with the high difficulties, you know, lowering your frame rate to 30 to make the game a lot easier, because the AI becomes so fucking dumb they will not target you after like a year. Also, since you don't have 1 down anymore on 1 down or 2 downs when you ace 9 lives, Swansong is just going to become even more powerful, because they aren't nerfing Swansong right, because the one really good way to nerf Swansong is just to give it a cooldown. You can't activate it like after 60 seconds. Oh, guess what? You just solved Swansong spamming. Congratulations! And when it comes to removal of specialized killing, I personally am glad that they removed that skill and buffed a lot of other weapons that really benefited from that skill. Because I felt like a lot of builds in general really relied on getting that extra damage, and if you did not have it, it basically held you back. So yeah, like specialized killing made it so you hit so many important damage breakpoints, like with DMRs and sniper rifles, high damaging sniper rifles, not high damaging, mid damaging sniper rifles. And it made also certain, you know, builds just so fucking busted, and that's mainly shotgun builds. Like, shotgun builds in general are extremely fucking busted in this game, because the only weakness shotguns really have is bulldozers, but they can still chew up bulldozers so goddamn fast, it doesn't matter. Also, while I'm on shotguns, when it comes to the overkill skill, you know, the top tier skill in the shotgun skill tree, that gives you a 75% damage bonus whenever you kill something with a shotgun or a saw, and it lasts for 20 seconds. Yeah, the basic version with the duration should be nerfed to like 5 seconds. Because 20 seconds is just way too much. You almost never, ever, ever lose that buff during a heist. As long as you're just killing like a few things once in a while, you will never lose that buff. And that's just a passive 75% damage increase for the rest of the heist after the first kill. And it's just so goddamn dumb. It's so dumb, and it makes shotguns so busted just because of that one skill. You don't need any other damage increasing skill with any shotguns to make them good. Overkill itself makes them good. So it would be nice if they nerfed the basic version of it, so it's, you know, not just 4 points to make, you know, your build from pretty good to godlike. And with the changes also to 1 down, when it comes to the Berserk skill, which is kind of the other, you know, passive damage increase skill in the game, I feel like Berserk is, for the most part, fine. It's only really when you put Anarchist on it, when it really becomes dumb. And I will come to that in a few moments. But yeah, I feel like Berserk is fairly balanced because you're already giving up something. Frenzy just make it so what you're not giving up is slightly better, which is your armor. But again, on 1 down, you know, armor builds in general, well, except for like armor and anarchist builds, are basically useless. Like, if you want to try to run ICTV with like Sociopath on Death Wish and lower, it's like amazing. You hop to 1 down, it fucking sucks. It's useless, it's not worth using. Use something else, use Anarchist instead. So yeah, I feel like Berserk is fine, even though the damage increase from Berserk can be a lot higher than Silence skills, you're still giving up something to basically get an effect of it, which is lower health. And as well, Frenzy isn't really making up for that unless you're running Anarchist, which Anarchist is dumb because of one thing. The 2-second health immunity when your armor breaks every 15 seconds. It doesn't need it, it should be only on the armor perk deck. Anarchist does not need it, it just makes you walk out on a lot of situations for free. And it's so dumb, and it's especially dumb because it's already a really strong perk deck, even without that. And I don't get it, why they added that, because I'm pretty sure in the beginning Anarchist did not have that effect on it. And I'm pretty sure they added it later. Which is... why? They made a really good perk deck into a godlike perk deck. Which is 100% consistent, and the only other perk deck I feel like is slightly dumber is Stoic. But again, Stoic you have to spec like heavily into stuff to even make it good. So it at least gets a pass because of it. Anarchist you don't even need to spec into anything and it's still godlike. It's so goddamn dumb. But yeah, enough about Anarchist and let's go back to ICTV. It would be nice for if they made it so on 1 down, or the highest difficulty, whatever the new name is going to be eventually. It would be nice if they lowered the enemy damage number so ICTV is actually useful, because you already have to spec very heavily to get ICTV. It's a lot of point investment, even though, yeah, you get a few useful things while speccing to it. It's still a lot of points to get something that is, for the most time, just a downgrade. So, yeah, it would be nice if they also tweaked the damage numbers on 1 down as well. But I would definitely say so far with the beta, I'm very happy with a lot of the changes. The 1 down change on 1 down, you know, you have 3 downs now, is still a little bit of confusing, but let's see where they take it. So yeah, that's some of my thoughts about the beta changes, and don't take my opinions too serious. Sometimes they can be really dumb. And, you know, I'm that guy that think, you know, dodge builds with the crossbow and grenade launchers are useless. Don't fucking use them. Just don't. Anyway, thank you for watching, and I hope you have a nice day. Yeah.